Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Albuquerque Aliens Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 25. So in last episode, if you didn't catch it, we took on the Dallas Stars in the second round, and we managed to beat them to get to our first conference finals in a few years, so only our second altogether. But it was another really good round for our team. As you can see, game number one, we actually lost in overtime against the Stars, which wasn't really that big of a surprise, but it was a pretty close game. We could have easily won it. And then we managed to edge out the next four games all by one goal. So it was definitely a lot closer of a series than it looks like. We won in 5 games, but literally games could have won either way for both teams. So we were able to edge out some nice close victories and get ourselves back here to the conference finals. I've been pretty impressed with mostly everybody on this roster because now we have had goals and points from, I think, almost everybody on their entire roster as well, which is great to see. So hopefully that continues going into this conference finals. But it was a big second round for Rick Kim. He helped contribute a lot with offense, scored a couple goals, scored actually a hat trick in that series. So it was a very big series for him. Hopefully he continues to get going here in the conference finals. We do need a little bit more out of somebody like Staubitz, though, because he's only got the 1 goal in 9 games after having a 60-plus goal regular season. So hoping for him maybe to step up a little bit. But in general, like, the depth scoring has been fantastic, as you can see. Like, a lot of players on 5-plus points in this playoff run. And then, as I mentioned, we did get points in that round from Dag, and we also got points from Drew Bell, who picked up 4 points in that series. So it's nice to see like everybody on the defensive core even contributing with the offense and that type of thing. Also great plus-minus results. And of course the great goaltending from Gionta with a .938 save percentage so far. And we have not lost a game in regulation up to this point in time, which is also pretty insane. So I am a little bit worried, though, that we could get cheesed here in this conference finals because the LA Kings didn't have a great regular season, but they've been much better in the playoffs. They were 41-37-4 during the regular season, but so far in the playoffs, they've been pretty damn solid. I don't remember who they knocked out in the past. Let me actually go to the playoff tree. They knocked out some pretty solid teams, though, if I remember right. Yeah, they knocked out Seattle in 7 games in the first round, and then they managed to take out Utah in 5 games. So definitely, this is going to be probably one of our toughest matchups yet, even though the Kings technically were a team that didn't have a great regular season. Their roster, I would say, is a lot better than it actually suggests as well. They've been getting good goaltending as well. Their main goaltender was actually injured for a few games. Their backup goaltender played great when he was in net, so I'm a little bit worried about that, but I'm hoping that obviously we can get ourselves to our first ever Stanley Cup Finals in this episode. But let me show you guys what the Kings look like again, just in case you forget. And then we'll get into your guys' comments and see if we could get to our first Stanley Cup Finals and maybe capture our first ever Stanley Cup in the next episode if that happens. But you can see this is the LA Kings team. They're a very solid team in terms of their offensive build. They do still have some guys from beginning like Quinton Byfield, but they have been drafting relatively well as well with like Thomas Ustorf, also Josiah Holtby. So they have been drafting some pretty decent players. And they have, definitely a good forward group. From a defensive side of things, they have an okay defensive core, but it's definitely one of the weaker defensive cores we've seen. They don't have a super stud defender, so I'm a little bit worried about that because this defensive core has simulated pretty good in front of their goaltenders, but their goaltending combination is actually pretty solid, and it has simulated solid so far in this playoffs. As I mentioned, Jackson Strudwick just coming back from injury, had a .910 in the regular season, but the playoffs you could see through 10 games, a .936. So he's been very good, just like Gionta has for us. And then they also had this Brody Homer guy in the lineup when he was injured. And you can see in 3 games, he was 2-0-1 with a .941. So both their goaltenders could play good, which means they probably have a good defensive system in front of these goalies. And then in terms of their depth options, they have the meme name that we saw in last episode, which is Neil McNeil, one of the funniest names we've seen so far in this franchise mode. And they also have like guys like Trevelyan and Noah Dobson there at 37 years old. So going to be interesting to see who ends up getting to the Cup Finals. Hopefully it's us because, like I said, this team obviously doesn't have a huge window left of winning a Stanley Cup because we have probably, I think, like maybe 10, 11 seasons left of this. And obviously there is still the impending free agent possibility of like Tuzolino and all that. So this team might regress a little bit over these next few years. But I'm hoping obviously we could try and maintain this roster as much as possible so we could get back to the spot again as early as next season if we are to lose. But anyways, let's get in your guys' comments now, see what you guys have to say about last episode, and then we'll get into this conference finals matchup with the Los Angeles Kings. So the first comment is from Joseph D. Miller, who says, another solid round. Hope it continues. Glad Kim did so well. And yeah, it was a pretty damn solid round. And yeah, I'm really happy with how Kim performed in that round against the Dallas Stars. Because if we actually go over to Kim's stats here, we'll look at his game by game in that round against Dallas. But he was very effective for us, and that's exactly kind of what we need, is multiple guys stepping up. You can see in that 5-game series, game 1, he had nothing. Actually, I thought he had more. Didn't he have a hat trick in that round? Or am I just losing my mind? I thought he had a hat. Oh, this is regular season, I think. Wait, maybe not. That's weird. It only shows him scoring 1 goal, but I'm pretty certain he had a hat trick. So maybe the game logs are broken. Let me go to May for a second here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the game logs are broken because I'm almost certain he scored a hat trick the other game. Like, if we go to the box score, maybe I'll see this instead. I thought he scored a hat trick in this round, or was that in the first round that he did that? Because I honestly don't remember now. At this stage, I'm kind of confused why it didn't show a hat trick, but I thought he had a hat trick against the Dallas Stars. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it was this, like, 5-4 game, right? Oh, it's not even showing any of the goals now in the box score. So the box scores must be broken. So that must be just like a bug that hopefully they're addressing with the patch that's coming on the day that you guys are seeing this. Huh, that's strange. Okay, so it recorded the box score for the game before, though. But for the game against them right there. Did we intervene that game? I don't remember. I don't think we did, no. That's strange that it didn't record any of the stats from that game. Alright, well, that's going to screw up the game logs, but oh well. At least it's still shows that he has enough points and all that stuff. But yeah, Kim had a great round. Great to see. Hopefully he continues that in this round 3 matchup. The next comment is from Michael Dose, who says, goaltending was absolutely superb by Gionta. Here's hoping you can make it to, can make Jonathan Quick work of eliminating those Kings. And, yeah, hopefully. I mean, Jonathan Quick hasn't been with the Kings in a while, but yeah, hopefully we can make some quick work of this Kings team. They definitely shouldn't probably be as far as they are, but they are a good roster on paper. Just the regular season seemed to be a little bit lackluster, and now they seem to have found themselves. So they probably definitely identify as a cheese team, which is a little bit scary. The next comment is from Ryan the Sharky, who says, the legend Neil McNeil, he better be the next Louis. So I guess he wants me to keep tabs on Neil McNeil, I guess, in this franchise mode. So I guess if we see Neil McNeil, we'll definitely take a look and see how he does throughout the series. If you remind me, obviously we don't have to check every single season, but maybe we check in like 5 seasons from now, see how he does. Or even at the end of this franchise mode, when we reach the very, very end, we see what Neil McNeil's career was like. Because he's not going to retire by the end of this series, likely, because he's only 21. But yeah, we could always keep tabs on him if you guys want me to. And the last and final comment is from Sour Taco. It says, you're going to get cheesed, and I like your reverse psychology, saying that we're going to get cheesed, and in reality you mean, hey, we're going to win this series. So hopefully that reverse psychology helps, because obviously we could be like, yeah, we're going to lose this round, and maybe we'll actually win. So let's just say we're going to lose this series, and if we win the series, then it's obviously a lot better than that. So I think we're going to obviously keep the lineup the same because it's been working well for us so far. Obviously, if we lose multiple games in a row, we can make adjustments. But this is going to be a good goaltending matchup, I think, because Strudwick has been good so far for them, and Gionta has been fantastic for us. So let's get into our game number 1, round number 3, and see if we can win 4 more games and get ourselves to our first ever Cup Finals. We just need to take over Hollywood, or Los Angeles, I guess, basically. And if we take over LA... if New York is the next team we'd have to face, that'd be kind of funny, because once you own LA and New York, like the aliens, if aliens abducted everybody in LA and New York, I think they pretty much own the United States at that point. So let's abduct the LA Kings and get ourselves to that finals. So game number 1 on home ice. At least we still have home ice advantage, which is great. Let's see if we could use it to our advantage and continue this hot run we're on. First period, game number 1. Scoreless. I'll take it. I mean, we've had some really good defensive games too, so obviously it would be good to get our offense scoring more goals. Like I was mentioning, Stelbitz only has the 1 goal up to this point, which is a bit of a disappointment, but he does have 6 points. I do need him to start scoring more goals, though, obviously, because that's kind of what he gets paid to do. So hopefully Stelbitz could get the offense going here in the second period. Shots are 10-10 as well, so pretty even in terms of everything in that period. Can we break the deadlock? Second period. 3-0 Kings. Yeah, I feel like we might actually get cheese, to be honest. Holtby scores a power play goal for them. Hernandez then scores less than a minute later. That's only like 20 seconds later, 25 seconds later, something like that. And then Byfield scores another power play goal. So our penalty kill struggling off the hop, which is not a great sign. Shots are 23-19 in favor to Kings. We need a big third period here, or else we're going to lose game one. So we might need to make some adjustments to try and get our penalty kill to do better than this. But can we at least not get shut out here in game one? Come on, boys. We've been a great defensive team so far in these playoffs. Poirier makes it 4-0. Definitely one of the worst games for Gianna in this playoff run. But can we find a way to get any goals on the board for us? Just to give us something to hope for next game, maybe? Nope. McLeod makes it 5-0, of course. Well, that was a really rough first game, and yeah, I definitely feel like the cheese is starting to melt all over us, and the aliens are like allergic to cheese or something like that, and we're gonna end up dying because of it, and then we're gonna go extinct. The aliens are gonna go extinct. Shots 31-28 at the end of that game, and we lose 5-0. So no offense, no defense, no goaltending. So that's completely reverse of what we've been playing like in the first two rounds. So our identity might be gone when we play against a team like the Kings. Looks like we had some bad plus-minus results as well. Kim and Peterson were both -3. Bell and Tuzolino were -2 each. Lambert and a bunch of other guys were -1. Yikes. And then Gianna had an 839. Yikes. Okay, that's not good at all. We will play Gianna for next game again, but if he plays bad, honestly, we could go to a backup and I would be okay with it. But yeah, Strudwick continues his hot playoffs for the Kings. And yeah, you guys probably could definitely smell that cheese cooking right now, because I definitely can. Because that's way different than our first few rounds. Del Monte was never injured, but he is back apparently. That's good to see. Let me just make sure we have our lineup set up the way I want it, because I think I could make already some forward adjustments just to try and get the offense going. Goaltending, I think, like I said, I might just wait and see first if it continues to simulate like that. And I don't think I really want to make any other adjustments. What could I do? Or if I want to make any adjustments, I could just leave it the same for one more game, and obviously if it plays bad again, then we definitely make adjustments, but then we're going to need to also win 2 games in LA, which is going to be tough. I think I'm going to keep it like this. It's gotten us this far. I'm not going to get rattled after a 5-0 loss. Let's keep it the same. If we lose this game again by a big score, we might make some adjustments to try and get stuff to get going a bit. But we need our offense to step up in this game, and we need a much better defensive and goaltending results. So can we get it here in Game 2 and get a big response from our team? Come on, boys. We've responded after games like that before. We could do it again. First period, Game 2. 2-1 us. Okay, that's a good offensive start. We do open to scoring Tuzolino and Staubitz. So that's Tuzolino's first career playoff goal right there. That's actually kind of insane that it took that long. It might be one of his last games on this team too, which is also kind of insane. And then good to see Staubitz score, because obviously I called him out. He only had 1 goal going into this series, which is pretty insane. Holtby then pulls them within 1. So all 3 of those goals were within the span of almost just a minute, just over a minute, which is kind of crazy. So afterwards, it was a quiet period. Shots are 14-7 in favor of us, but we're up by a goal. Can we hold on to this lead? Maybe get some insurance to make me feel safer going into the third. Second period, they tie it up. Oostorf halfway through the game at that point. Shots are 27-19. It's 2-2 game. Oh man, this is not good. I feel very not well that our team's going to be able to beat this Kings team. We got to find a way to just escape with 1-goal victories again if we're going to win games, right? We've won a lot of 1-goal games already. So in close games, I do feel a bit safer, but at the same time, obviously it could go either way. Let's see if we could find a way to get that lead back, because we had a 2-0 lead and now it's 2-2. So I don't feel safe really, because they've been able to come back, but let's see if Gianna could slam the door in the third and if we could get some more offense going for our team. Come on, boys. Third period underway. Let's get that lead back if possible. Quinton Byfield gives the Kings their first lead of the night. I knew that was going to happen because we blew that 2-0 lead. We're out shooting them too, but we're not able to score a lot of goals. Strudwick has been crazy good against us so far here in the early going. Can we find a way to tie this game up? No, we cannot. And we're going to be down 0-2 heading to LA. Yeah, I think we're going to get swept here, honestly. This game, when you play out so good in the first 2 rounds and then you get to a conference finals, it seems like everything starts to crash at that point. Well, that's not good. We had a 2-0 lead and we blew it. So Tuzolino from Del Monte and Peterson and Staubitz from Kolars and Tulipov. But, Quinton Byfield with the game winner. Any badly minus people in that game? Some -1s, which isn't terrible. But, yeah, we got to make some adjustments. Gianna had an 893. And we're just getting completely goalied by Strudwick right now. 951 save percentage in that game. 39 saves as well. So we probably should have won that game. But, yeah, their goaltending has definitely been a difference maker so far here early on. And we're kind of struggling to score goals like we were for most of the playoffs, I'd say, for this point. Like, we have good depth scoring, but we aren't scoring a lot. So, let's go to headlines here and make some adjustments because now we need to find a way to win 2 games in LA. We probably should keep with Giunta because Semenov, I don't think I would trust him, to be honest, at this point. So, yeah, we'll probably just keep with Gianna, even though Gianna's been struggling kind of against the Kings. In terms of our offense, though, we definitely need to find our offense and defensive game a little bit. I could move Staubitz down to the second line because he has been probably worse in a sense than Kim has. Yeah, he kind of has. So let's give Rick Kim some first line ice time. Staubitz will go onto the second line. It's a little bit of a weird move. And then aside from that, what else could I do here? Trying to think. Let's just swap Doig and Capaduca on their wings. Maybe for a little bit of something different. We could always make an adjustment on the fourth line as well. Trying to think if I want to do that. Lambert has been +4 so far. He's not been bad defensively. He at least +4. Or +2. I lagged. Dag is a +4. Trying to think. I think that's fine. What about defensive pairings? We could always go Tulipov and Tuzolino. And then Bell and Norena, Lee and Hurd. I did really like Zach Hurd's play early on in this playoffs, but he hasn't done much offensively since. Could always get him into the top 4. And then move somebody out of the top 4. And, yeah, it's okay. We'll keep the rest of the defense the same. We just need to find a way to score more goals. Like, I could always throw somebody in like Bure or Enroth to help out with the offense, or Whitfield, but I don't really know what other moves I can make. I could always swap like Del Monte and Kolars around if I want. Kolars is on 8 points, only 2 goals. Del Monte is on 10 points. So yeah, that second line was outperforming the top line, kind of, so to speak, which is not great. Risto's been still pretty good, though, so hopefully having Kim on that top line changes our offensive complexion a little bit, and we get back into this series a little bit. So we need to win both games in LA. Obviously, if we lose both these games, or one, we'll lose the series. If we lose one of these games, we have a huge hill to climb. So let's see if we could get back into this and win some games on the road. Like, maybe it's going to be the home ice trend where you lose both games on home ice, then you win on the road, then you lose, then you win, and then you win finally in Game 7. So we're not out of this yet. Let's see if we could get ourselves back into the series. But so far, hasn't been good up to this point in time. We need Gianna to be on his A game here if possible. First period, game number 3. 1-1, I'll take it. We do not open the scoring. It's Prince for them. And then Ristolainen ties the game up for us. So good to see Ristolainen on the board and that top line scoring goals. Shots are 15-10 in favor of the Kings, so they are outplaying us so far. But so far, it's been a good game for Giunta. Hopefully, he continues that in the second period, and hopefully our offense can find a little bit more consistency going forward because we still have not scored a ton of goals in the series. Second period, 2-1 us. Okay, we do have a lead going into the third period. That's good to see. As Peterson scores, so that second line scores as well, even with the adjustments. So maybe our top 6 is better than it was before. Shots are 23-19 in favor of the Kings. It's a pretty close game for the most part in shots and goals. Can we lock this game down? Maybe get some insurance markers and take our first game of the series. Come on, boys. Let's keep that momentum rolling here. Nice penalty kill there to start the third. Love to see it. Come on, guys. Let's get an insurance marker. I don't like only being up by a goal. We have won a lot of close games in the past, though, so who knows what could happen here. Power play for us, it's a long one. We do get a power play goal finally out of it. Kolars with his third goal of the playoffs makes it 3-1, and that will be your final. So there's a great defensive response. That's the identity this team had in the first two rounds, and Gionta gets a nice 31 save performance. And it was a good performance for their goaltender, too, but we managed to edge them out. And we are back into the series. It's a 2-1 series now only, rather than a 3-0 series. So Ristolainen from Kim, Peterson from Staubitz and Del Monte, and Kohlers from Ristolainen and Del Monte. So seems like with the reorganization of that top six, it definitely helped out with the goal scoring. So that's good to see, because everybody in our top six had points in that game. And that's exactly what I want from those guys. And in a 969 from Gionta, he's back to his good defensive stats as well. He gets first star of the game, Risto to second star, and Peterson the third star. So I guess we'll keep the team the same, considering we got a good defensive result, and we got our offense going for the top six. We still haven't scored a ton of goals against this team. We've only scored 5 goals in 3 games, but if we could have another good result like that in LA, then we're back to square one again. So can't count us out yet. The Rangers are up 3-0 on the Florida Panthers, so the New York Rangers might be going to the Cup Finals in 2037, or they're likely to go to the Cup Finals. So let's keep the rest of this team the same. See if we can get a good response here in game number 4 as well, and get this series tied back up. Because if we get this series tied back up, we could still get to a finals. If we lose this, it's going to be 3 straight wins we're going to need. So let's keep the team the same. See if we can get in similar results, because that was a good game from our team in game 3. So here we go. Game number 4, first period. 1-1 again. Okay. Clefbaum opens the scoring for them on the power play. Heatley scores for us. So Heatley continues to score goals, which is great to see from our fourth line. I like when they contribute with offense. Shots are 16-10 in favor of the Kings. So once again, they are outplaying us after the first period, but it is even, which is good to see. So Gionta's on his game here early on, just like last game. Can we find a way to get that lead going into the third period, just like we did last game? Second period, 4-1 Albuquerque. That is a great period. Staubitz scores 20 seconds into the period. Then we get Lee scoring his first playoff goal. So literally almost everybody on the roster has a goal at this point. And Norena scores with 51 seconds left. Shots are 30-23 in favor of the Kings, but we're up by 3 goals. We're a period away from potentially taking both their home games and making it back to even again. Let's lock this game down in the third if possible, and play that great defensive game, because so far Gionta has shown that he's also a great goaltender. Like, he could have bad games, but he could also respond from them, as Capaduca makes it 5-1. Holtby makes it 5-2. It's okay. Just got to keep them off the score sheet the rest of the game if possible here, boys. But yeah, Gionta has definitely shown he's a great goaltender. Like, he can respond from those tough games. Final few minutes of this third period. We're up by 3 goals still, and we are going to take a 5-2 victory in LA, as we have tied the series after losing both of our home games. So final shots 41-40 in favor of the Kings, but we win 5-2. Much better performance from our offense and from our goaltending. Love to see it. So Heatley from Capaduca and Cashman, Staubitz from Tuzolino, Lee from Ristolainen, Norena from Del Monte and Staubitz, Capaduca from Doig and Tuzolino. Let's go to those player stats here. Nice plus minuses across the board. Love to see it. Any minus people? No. Goaltending results, a 951 from Gionta. Gionta's the man. He is the man. He gets first star again. Capaduca to second star, and Staubitz to third star. So after we started our series off a little bit slow with a 5-0 loss and a 3-2 loss, we bounced back with a 3-1 win and a 5-2 win. So this series is pretty damn even at this point in terms of goals for, I believe. But so far, so good. We're 10-3 now in the playoffs, and we're 2 wins away from the Cup Finals. Obviously, if we lose this game, it could still be the home ice trend. If we win this game, though, we could still win at 6 games. We could win at 7 games. Who knows what's going to happen, but a great response from our team again. Because we never seem to give up, really, because against the Dallas Stars, we lost game 1 as well, but then we won 4 straight. Against the Kings, we've lost 2 straight, but now we've won 2 in a row, so maybe it's the same type of boat for our team going forward. But I think we got to keep the team the same, considering we've had 2 great games defensively. Our offense is starting to heat up a bit. I think there's no reason to make any adjustments going into this game. So can we take our first lead of the series and get a win on home ice? We have not had a home ice win since, I guess, Game 5 against the Stars. Let's see if we can get one here and maybe push LA to the brink. Come on, boys. Let's get her done. We are the aliens. We could abduct these kings. First period, game number 5. 2-1 Kings. I don't like that. They've been open to scoring a lot in these games recently, too. They score a short-handed goal, but then we score a power play goal. So Antonio and then Staubitz. So Staubitz has had a great series in terms of scoring goals. So I'd like to see that. Mercier then gets them back on the board again. So 3 goals within the span of 2 minutes. So it seems like the offense happens in bunches. Shots are 13-6 in favor of us, but they have 2 goals on 6 shots. So Gianna's having a tough time again in this game. I don't know really what the recipe for a good goaltending result is from him, but he seems to be like good for a couple games, has maybe a bad game, good for a couple games, bad for a game. But hopefully he has a stronger second period here, and hopefully our offense finds itself in the second period because we're generating chances, so we should be able to score goals. But right now it might be the home ice trend that I was mentioning earlier on when we were down 0-2. So do we have a good response in the second period to tie this game up or potentially get that lead? Second period, 3-1 Kings. That's not a good goal to give up. Svedberg, we're being out, or not being outshot. We're out shooting him 23-19, but we're down by a pair of goals. So we need a big third period here if we want to get back into this game, or else we're going to go to Game 6 back in LA and have to win another road game in order to get it to a Game 7. So this is not good so far, but it might be the home ice trend. I'm hoping that's what it is at least right now, but let's have a big third period here and see if we can get our offense going again. We had 5 goals in the last game, so we definitely can score goals. We just need to find a lucky break or two. And Byfield makes it 4-1. That's unfortunate. We do answer back, though. Ristolainen making it a 4-2 game. Do we have any other goals in us? Bell makes it 4-3. Okay, it's a 1-goal game here. Can we tie it up is the question. No, we cannot. Svedberg makes it 5-3. And then we pull within 1 again. Rick Kim makes it a 5-4 game. Is it too little too late? Yes, it is. Clefbaum gets the empty net goal. We lose 6-4. So we had a good push in the third period, but we also just gave up a couple too much goals. Like if we didn't give up that Svedberg goal, we could have tied it up. But unfortunately, we're going to be trailing in the series once again. Shots were 33-32, so not the best goaltending results again from Gianta, but we do head to LA looking to win our 3rd road game of this series and push it to a Game 7 if possible. But we are not doing too well on home ice right now. So Staubitz from Kolarz and Ristolainen. Then we had Risto from Kolarz and Tuzolino. Bell from Kolarz and Kim from Kolarz and Ristolainen. So a couple guys with multiple points in that game. Yeah, 4 assists from Kolarz and then 3 points from Risto. Like, it definitely went to waste, those points. Tuzolino was a -3. I think this guy's probably checked out. He's just like, yeah, I know I'm going to leave to free agency if this team loses. So, yeah, he probably mentally checked out of the game at that point. And also, Doig was a -4. Damn, Cashman was -3 as well. Same with Tulipov. Like, yikes. That one line, which is the second line, or is that the third line? That's the third line, I think, actually. Yeah, that's definitely the third line. And that top pairing did absolutely dreadful. And then Gianta had a really tough time again. Bristow got 1st star in that loss. Kolarz the 2nd star. Svedberg for them the 3rd star. What do we want to do to try and get this to a Game 7? Or will it just go to a Game 7 because it's the home ice trend right now, potentially? I don't know. Because we could get eliminated here. But also, I feel like we could go to a Game 7 still. I feel like we can. We just need to get a good response from our team again. Because we have been able to win multiple games in a row. Trying to think of what we should do. So this third line was really bad in the plus minuses in the last game. Doig is a -3 in this entire playoffs right now. Cashman's a -1. Let's go back Doig on that left side again. Maybe that's the problem for him. Because left wing, I believe. Actually, right wing's his natural position. Trying to think of where I want to slot him in. If there's any other place I could bring him into. Not really. Not really. What about that 4th line? The 4th line's still good in plus minus, I think. Actually, why did it go up? What the hell is this glitch, man? There you go. Plus minus is still good on that 4th line. The top pairing was pretty bad last game, though. So we are going to move Tulipov down. Zach Hurd is going to go to the top pairing. And that's more for Saturn Taku's sake. We'll have Tulipov, since he had a pretty rough game, play with Lee. And then, yeah, Tuzolino will be up there with Hurd. So, it'll be interesting to see what Hurd could do. And then, yeah, Gianna's still rocking a 926. So, he still had a good playoffs, but he's had some pretty bad games here against the Kings as well. But I don't think there's really much else I could do in terms of adjustments. All right, well, we need to find a way to win 2 straight games. We've done it before. We could do it again. Just got to find a way to win here in LA, and then hopefully we could find a way to win on home ice in Game 7. So far, it might be the home ice trend. The New York Rangers did sweep the Florida Panthers, so they are going to the Cup Finals. Can we find a way to win here, or else is it going to be a rematch of 2014? Hopefully not. Real-time simulation here in LA. Looking to stay alive and get to Game 7. Let's go, boys. Come on. We need Gianna on his game, and we need our offense to score goals like it's done the last few games. They opened the scoring for the 4th straight game, I think. Dadonov scores first, of course. Of course, it has to be a Dadonov in this type of situation. We do tie it up, though. Capaduca. Love to see it. So that's good to see that 3rd line on the board after they had a bit of a tough time last game. Or some of them did, at least. And it's a 1-1 game after the first period. Shots are 15-9 in favor of us, so we are outplaying them. But so far, Strudwick has had a strong game. Can we find a way to score him again? 2nd period underway. Come on, boys. Power play for us. We do not score. Come on, guys. I believe in you. You just have to have 2 good games in a row. We could do it. We could do it. And they take the lead back. Knubel beats Gianta. Not good. Final few minutes here of the 2nd period, down by a goal despite outshooting them. And we're going to go into the 3rd period down by a goal. Shots are 28-18 in favor of us. So we are doing well in getting chances, but we just can't find ways to score consistently on Strudwick. He's definitely been very good in this series for the most part. He's had a couple bad games, obviously, but yeah, he's pretty much one of the difference makers right now on the Kings, I would say, in terms of their play. So we're a period away from being eliminated. We need to show up here in this final 20 minutes, get it to a Game 7, and then anything could happen on home ice. Come on, boys. Who wants to be the guy to step up in this 3rd period for our team? I don't know at this point, because this could be Tuzolino's last game here in Albuquerque, so we need somebody to step up. This might be one of our best teams we put together, potentially, because once we lose Tuzolino, potentially, our defense might go down a little bit more. It might be still good, but obviously we aren't going to have that guy that could win a Norris potential on the defensive side of things. So we need a strong 3rd period here. I don't know who wants to step up, but somebody show up and get me to a Game 7, please. Let's see what happens. Who wants to be that guy? Cashman cashes in on the biggest time possible, makes it a 2-2 game. That's a huge goal, but they get the lead right back on a power play goal. I don't know who took that penalty, but don't do that in the 3rd period. We're down to the final 10 minutes here. I might honestly intervene. Yeah, I'm going to intervene because we might be eliminated here shortly, so might as well watch us at least try to tie this game up. So, yeah, we'll watch this, even though we might honestly lose. But we still have time to tie it up, so we might as well watch and see if we could change what the game is scripting. Oh, man, I hope we don't get cheese here. Let me make sure arena music is turned off. Don't want to get no copyright strikes. Perfect. And let's see if we could find a way to win here in LA. We're down by a goal. We still got like 8 minutes, I think, or so left. If we could find a way to win this game somehow, get it to a Game 7, anything's possible. Anything's possible. So here we go. The boys out there in LA, they might end up losing. We're out shooting them by 10 shots right now. So we have been generating chances. Just need to find a way to get a goal to tie us one up. And maybe we could win it in overtime, maybe regulation. Rick Kim with a chance that's blocked. Kim battling with Ustorf. Dadonov turns it over, and now the Kings have possession. Mercier up to Holtby. He has the difference right now on the power play. He gets in, finds Mercier behind his back. Ustorf, and it's off of Tuzolino and into his own net. Tuzolino with an own goal in potentially his last game. What the hell was that, man? Oh my goodness, yeah, Tuzolino's gone at this point. That's just terrible defense. Absolutely terrible. That's the look of a guy that wants to go to free agency at this point. He was a -3 the other game, and then this one just bounces off of him and into his own net. You can't script it any worse than that. God damn, man. Let's take a look at Tuzolino, and our coach is not going to be happy with that, and I wouldn't be happy with that either. Because Tuzolino, he's an offensive defenseman, so he shouldn't know how to play defense that well. But he basically lets this guy walk in with it, and then he decides just to stay in the middle. So he's still defending the one-time play, but he's not defending it that well. And that behind the back pass by Mercier, Ustorf with the bomb, and then what is this defense? You're literally screening your goaltender here. It hits him right in the crotch. Right in the crotch. It drops down, and then he tries to hit it with his stick. I think he ends up, knocking it backwards. And that he ends up just going right into our own net. And yeah, that's the look of a guy that wants to head to free agency and find a different team to play with. Let's actually get a good screenshot of that, because that's probably an iconic moment in the series at this point, because we might be getting eliminated because of that. That's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate. Yeah, Tuzolino is, yeah, he's probably gone after that. I just, 18 million bucks, and he wants to score own goals in potential games like this. Not good. You still have 5 minutes, so we could still find a way to tie it up, but Tuzolino needs to show me a lot more than that. Oh, God. That's not great. Holtby walks right in for the Kings. Nice save there. Come on, guys. We're kind of on our heels a bit since we've jumped in. Chiodo a shot, and it's loose, and we managed to get it out. Yikes. Yeah, the Kings are definitely playing strong against us here since we jumped in. Tuzolino throws it up to Ristolainen. He turns it right away over. God damn, man. We can't even get an offensive zone possession here. Holtby walks in, finds Chiodo. Chiodo walks in. Nice poke check there by Tuzolino. Holtby gets an open chance, and he scores. What is happening with this team? The aliens are getting blown out of the sky. All of a sudden, it's 5-2. Josiah Holtby has been a thorn in our side a little bit in the series. Absolutely dreadful defensive coverage here. Ristolainen's not the guy to play defense, but he is a Selke winner. But what the hell was Tuzolino pinching up so much on? Damn, man, that is frustrating. At least our pads look pretty sick with our goaltending, but yeah, we're definitely losing this now. At this point, I could back out, but might as well watch our last little bit of this season. But Tuzolino out there for 2 goals against in these last 2 minutes, huh? And we were only within 1 goal when we jumped in, but ever since then, it seems like it reverse scripted it to actually them winning. Because I feel like we could have still won this game, potentially, but not anymore. Not anymore. Let's see, can Tuzolino defend here against Rubrick? No, he's letting him just walk right in and get a shot. God damn, man. Here's Tuzolino. Let's see what he can do offensively. Finds Stelbitz, and that's stopped by Strudwick. Damn. That was at least a good chance, but we should have gotten those chances a little bit earlier because we were within 1 at that point. Now, because we're down by 3, we need, like, all the goals we could get, basically. Oh, man. Ristolainen and Kim were up there in hits during the playoffs, apparently, this year. It was a fantastic run for this team, though. First 2 rounds were great. This round had some good moments, but we also had some bad moments. Gionta didn't do enough in terms of his goaltending. Like, he wasn't consistent like he was before. And then, of course, the downfall of, guys like Tuzolino. -3 in a big game. This game, he's been trash. Yeah, he's definitely, I think, going to go to free agency. I think you guys will probably agree with me after how he played in this game. Just absolutely rough. We're already in the last minute. I didn't even realize. Morena to Cashman. Cashman finds Capaduca over to Bell. Bell walks in, finds Doig, and he's denied. Good chance there, though, from Doig. Doig finds Bell. Bell throws it to the net, deflected, I think, by Capaduca, and that hit the post. It's too late at this point, but still good to see the boys at least trying here a little bit late. Seems like this third line's better than the top line was, but here I come again. Doig walks in, finds Bell. Over, one-timer in the corner. That was an interesting play. I don't know why he would shoot that, but it almost worked. Bell with a bomb. That's blocked. Final few seconds. And unfortunately, the LA Kings are going to be going to the Stanley Cup Finals to play the New York Rangers like they did in 2014. That's tough, man. That's tough. We might as well not see the celebration at this point, because obviously we do not care about the LA Kings that much, but the LA Kings take us out. It's an interesting season, but it falls just short. So, yeah, that third line was our best line in that game. All 2 points from Cashman, Capaduca, and Doig. Everybody else didn't show up, but yeah, Tuzolino was a -2. That was probably his last game here. And then Gianna with an 853. Yeah, Gianna had 4 rough games in the series. And unfortunately, that is going to push us out of the playoffs. Damn, man. That's tough. Like I said, 2 really good rounds. This round had some really good showing in game 3 and 4. Thought we could get back into the series. We ended up losing by 2 goals in this game. And this one, we just didn't show up. So, yeah, Tuzolino, you're probably gone, bro. You're probably gone. I can't pay $18 million for a guy with an own goal. I just can't. But the player stats for the playoffs, we still had Ristolainen well over point per game, 18 points in 15 games. Everybody else was below point per game, but you could see we had still good depth scoring. Tuzolino had 10 points technically in the playoffs, was +2. But when it mattered most, if we go to game logs, oh, it does glitch out. Actually, no, it doesn't glitch out. You can see in the last 2 games of the series, where basically the Kings won, he was a -5 in those 2 games, with only an assist. So, definitely, when it comes to clutch moments, this guy isn't it. So, is he heading to free agency? There's a high chance he is. But we'll see what ends up happening in terms of his demand. But I don't think he's going to come back. But at least everybody on the team picked up points. Was there any minus people on the entire team? Just Doig, but that was probably because of that one game he had. Gianna had a 921. Definitely a tough time in that conference finals for him, but unfortunately, LA goes to face the Rangers. So let's continue to simulate the rest of the season done to see who ends up winning the cup and all that stuff. But we fall a little bit short again, but at least we're getting there. New York Rangers are going to win the Stanley Cup, though, so we do not lose to the best team in the league. It is the Rangers that end up winning. I don't know if there's any interesting players on the Rangers. We might as well take a look at that cup-winning team just for fun. So the New York Rangers, they beat the LA Kings. Who was on that team? Cole Perfetti, Lafreniere, Kako, Andrew Basha. I wouldn't say there's anybody super that I recognize from the drafts and all that. Bobby Brink, Philip Hedl still playing. Askarov was in that. Okay. All right, so that was the New York Rangers. Let's take a look at the awards. So the New York Rangers winning the Stanley Cup for the first time, I think, probably in this series, but not too sure. St. Louis, the President's Trophy, LA, New York Cup Finals. Individual awards, Prost wins the Art Ross and the Hart. Landon DuPont wins the Norris. Barkov the Bing. Bjorkstrand the Calder for Seattle. Perfetti the Conn Smythe. Kazanov wins the Vezina Trophy for the St. Louis Blues. And he also wins the Jennings. Him and Tyler Brennan, I think his name is. Yeah, I think it's Tyler Brennan. Kalinin wins the Bill Masterton for Vancouver. New York Rangers head coach wins the Jack Adams and the Stanley Cup in the same season. Ristolainen does win another Selke. So shout out to Ristolainen. He's still winning tons of Selkies, which is fantastic. Prost, Lindsay, and Staubitz did win the Richard, as we saw during the regular season, so there's his first piece of hardware. Love to see it. Hopefully he has a good season next year, but he is getting closer to the age where he's probably going to start to drop off, which is not great. And Bates was the best defenseman in the AHL this year, apparently. That's interesting. Maybe he should have played in the NHL playoffs. Huh, okay. So now if we go to our players, we will take a look at the updated awards on Staubitz and Ristolainen. So Josiah Staubitz now a Rocket Richard winner in 2037. Love to see it. And then Ristolainen with another Selke trophy. Up to 5 of them in his career at the age of 29. And he's still signed here long term, which is great. So Risto potentially going to become one of the best two-way forwards in NHL history with Patrice Bergeron, with Pavel Datsyuk. That's going to be sick. That's going to be sick. Okay. So there is the awards. Now we got to find out who wins the Stanley Cup. Obviously, take a look at the draft and all that stuff. But we have some decisions to make this offseason, and it is going to be kind of a tough offseason, probably for some losses on the team, but there is also going to be some guys that are going to be jumping up, which is nice. Like, we also do still have to re-sign, like, Del Monte, I think, and all that. But Calgary wins the draft lottery. Edmonton number 2, Winnipeg 3, Vancouver 4, and Pittsburgh number 5. So it's an all-Canadian almost top 5, which is kind of insane. And most of those being in the Pacific Division once again. All right. So there is that. Next thing we got to take a look at the retirements. Who retired this season? Obviously, we didn't lose anybody, but Alex Barkov, the best to retire. Leon Draisaitl up there for the Philadelphia Flyers. Austin Matthews has retired, so there is some pretty big names deciding to hang him up. Kaprizov as well. Jason Robertson, that's in our division, so we won't have to see those guys anymore. Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes. Yeah, this is a really big retirement group. Cale Makar as well. Yeah, I'm glad that all these guys are retired so we don't have to face them again. Philip Hedl retires as a Stanley Cup champion, so shout out to him. In terms of goaltenders that retired, Stuart Skinner's the best. That's a pretty big goaltender to retire in our division as well. Woll retires, Tarasov, all right. So there is the retirements. In terms of coach retirements, we did not lose anybody, so that's good. All right, we aren't going to do draft interviews, so I'm going to skip through all that. Let's take a look at the contract situation. The dreaded contract situation. Who is up for renewal this offseason? Let's go all expiring. So Tuzzolino's the big one. Obviously, like I said, I think we're going to be letting him go. He does not want an extension. Same with Del Monte. So I don't even know if we'll be able to afford to bring back Del Monte because of that. But first and foremost, Tuzzolino, obviously, like I was mentioning, he wants $19.35 million for 6 years. And he has no organizational interest hardly. Like, he's got 4 bars out of 10. Yeah, he's probably gone because I can't afford to pay almost $20 million to a defenseman that scores own goals. From Del Monte's standpoint, I would love to bring him back because it obviously would make us weaker. That's pretty steep too. He does actually have good organizational interest though, so maybe, even though he doesn't want an extension, he could come back. But 8 years at $13.8 million for a guy with a career high of 70 points, was it? What was it? 76 points. I mean, he has been good the last 2 seasons, but I think it's a bit of a risk. I just don't know if I should bring him back. He is listed as a first liner. He's been playing second line minutes. Yeah, I'm not too sure, honestly, on that. We do have Norena. Obviously, if Tuzzolino's gone, Norena has to come back because we need somebody to drive the offense, and he's definitely a lot cheaper and affordable. $8 million still a lot, kind of, for somebody like him, but I would be willing to do it. He does have a lot more organizational interest in Tuzzolino and all that, so that's good. Capaduca should be relatively cheap. Yeah, 3.8. And then we have Hurd coming off his entry-level deal. He wants 5.25 already. God damn. And he would be a UFA at the end of those 2 years. Heatley is a pending free agent. We should be able to afford him relatively easily. Yeah, $2 million. So the only ones I think we probably lose is potentially our best 2 ones. Tuzzolino and Del Monte. Both of them potentially should be gone. Tuzzolino for sure. Del Monte I would like to get back, but I don't know if I should be paying him that much money at the moment. And then from a goalie perspective, no goalies are up for renewal. So that's interesting. And then I think any good unsigned prospect. Actually, we should take a look at that afterwards because we want to take a look at the progress reports. So let's go to progress reports. Then we'll take a look at the draft class. Where is these damn progress reports? There. So any good growth or any drop off this year from any guys? Looks like some statistical growth from some guys. Peterson's up to an 85. That is a mix of natural and statistical, mostly statistical though. Ristolainen's up to a 95, mostly statistical. We have Delisle up to a 79. So George Delisle should be in our lineup next season. Did have a 30-goal rookie year in the AHL, which is great to see. So I don't know who he's going to push out of the lineup. Like, if we let go of Del Monte, he could get into the lineup. But if we don't, there is a chance that, like, Dag might be out of our lineup. Or we could try and get Delisle to play right wing as well. But then again, he still wouldn't be able to get much ice time, I don't think. Like, him and Lambert are pretty similar players. Obviously, Lambert's not panning out as much, but Delisle definitely should be in our lineup next season, I think. Aside from that, Lee and Tulipov pretty much the exact same. Goaltending, Gianna's up to an 87. He's only signed for 1 more year, so that's a bit risky. In the system, what do we got here? Harry Collins up to a 76. He could be our backup next season for sure. Semenov might be unsigned or let go of, because Langlois and Mathers could run the AHL, hypothetically. Actually, Langlois is not even AHL eligible, so maybe we do bring back Semenov still to play with Mathers. Mathers didn't get any growth as a medium elite, so that's pretty bad. From a defensive standpoint, low elites like DeVoe are getting growth, Tuomainen, but they're also old. Like Tuomainen's 21 and only a 56. That's not good. Watson not getting much growth. Mahalik's a 75 at 22. Listed as a depth defenseman. He could be the replacement for Tuzolino in the NHL. Obviously a little bit lower, but not like an offensive guy. Yeah, we're kind of struggling for growth on defense, it looks like a bit. Hennessy could be NHL bound soon too. Up to a 75 as a medium elite, 23. Patrick's up to a 69, so that's the enforcer, I believe. I think that's the enforcer, if I remember right. It doesn't say on the screen, but 69 at low elite at 20, that's really good. Aside from that, Caleb Doig is up to a 74 at 20. He did play an AHL season last year, had 155 penalty minutes. Holy crap, okay. He's a grinder, I believe, so we might have some grit in our bottom 6 coming soon. So that's cool. Aside from that, Malak, one of the low leads, up to a 76. He could be NHL bound next season. Hypothetically, Peterson, maybe a depth forward. And then aside from that, we also do have Comrie up to a 60 at 20. That's okay. Corso a 71 at 22. And then Ashton is up to a 66 at 19. Didn't really get a lot of growth, which is not great to see, because obviously we were hoping for a lot more from the AA. Alright. Yeah, I'm not too sure on some of the growth in the system. Alright, final thing, let's take a look at the draft board. What pick do we have this year? We have 31st. Alright, so what are we going to be able to get potentially here in this year's draft? Looks like a pretty standard draft for the most things considered. 31st. 31st. Can we get any steals here this year? Blake Goddard does not look good. Just trying to see if there's anybody with potential here. Maroon. Tommy Maroon. 2 years out. I mean, that's not bad. Zhitnik as a gem. 3 years out. Obviously, we're going to go by potential here shortly just to see if there's any low leads. Medium starter that has a gem status. Juha Hirvonen. We could pin him. Okay. Any low elite potentials? Because that would be nice. Or medium elites that we get steal. There's some medium elite goalies. Don't need more of them. But Lukovic and what's your name? Damien Foy. There is a medium elite two-way defenseman in DeAndre Hunwick, who is 19. We'll definitely pin him. He's definitely somebody we'll take later in the draft, because obviously we could use more potential on defense, especially after losing Tuzolino, probably. Is there any low leads? Because I do like my low leads, if they pan out, that is. Let's see. This guy could be one. Novoseltsev. He doesn't look great, though. I'll pin him in case. There's also Timofey Turakov, who's supposed to go undrafted, so he's probably not a great one. Holmquist. And this draft class, to be honest, is not looking that strong. Reed Domi. What about Boyton? Yeah, I feel like this draft class is not going to be super strong, which is not great really for us because we could use all the prospects we could get at the moment. So, oh boy. Well, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Albuquerque Aliens Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to another draft and another offseason, as we look to basically kind of reconfigure our team. Obviously, we're going to have the same roster on paper, but losing Tuzolino is going to be huge for the defense in a sense. But I think Narena could obviously give us still a lot of offense from the back end. I am a little bit worried about losing Del Monte potentially, but I think if we do lose him, obviously it gives a chance to Delisle. And we could kind of have a small retool, but this team's definitely going to be a little bit worse, I think, next season. But maybe that's a good thing for our playoff run, because maybe we don't want to be too good. So anyways, let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.